Welcome to another edition of the International Commission podcast, where we talk about stories from the field, inspiring things, funny things, ways to share the gospel with people from other worldviews, how you can go with us to reach the unreached. I'm Bucky.
My name is Grace, and we have a guest here today. Her name is Alaina. Welcome. We are going to get to hear a little bit more about her and her story. She is a fellow missionary, currently working overseas. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi guys. Thanks for having me today. As she said, my name is Alaina. I have been working on and off for the last 6 years with an organization called Youth of the Mission.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's me.
Amazing. And how did you get to come into missions? Like, did you grow up around it, or was it just kind of like the Lord led you at the last minute, like, this is what you're doing, or?
Yeah, probably more the latter. I've grown up here in Texas and was around the church my whole life and have like a really great home church, but never really anticipated missions to be like my full-time occupation as an adult. I always loved hearing about like family mission trips and things like that, especially when I was young. I just had this like really deep desire to like know what these people were doing when they traveled overseas, even though I had no idea what missions was. But it wasn't until my senior year of high school I was ready to go to a pre-nursing program. I had like 2 colleges I was choosing between, was like very set that this is what I was gonna do.
Yep.
And then I had a friend return from her program with YWAM, and she sat me down and was like, hey, do you know that you actually have options after high school? Like, you don't just have to go to university like everyone else does. And for some reason that like blew my mind.
Like, wait, what?
I know. I was like, are you sure I don't just have to go? And so, yeah, I did my initial program more as like a gap year when I was 18,
Wow.
and totally thought I was going to come back and go to university and be a full-time nurse at this point. But I just fell in love with missions and training and things like that. And so, yeah, that's my
Amazing.
story.
How does she would?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's like the Lord, sometimes he plants that seed really early and it just takes
Uh-huh.
a while to grow, and you're like, oh wow, like this is really what I meant to do.
Yeah, it's true.
But I don't think she mentioned where she is. She's in a really cool place. So tell us where you are.
Yes, I'm currently living and volunteering with a YWAM base in New Zealand in a town called Queenstown in the bottom of the South Island.
Choice.
That's amazing. I have never been to New Zealand. I know a lot of us were just talking. We were like, we really want to go. Like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We see pictures. What are some unique stories, some unique cultural things that are very different from Texas and the U.S.?
Well, for starters, I now drive on the left side of the road,
Oh, goodness.
which was like so hard for me. I'm already like not the best with cars. Like, don't ask me to parallel
So, like,
park.
our switching is
Yes.
just...
And within my first week in YWAM, I had to take a driver's test so that I was cleared to drive the base
Wow.
vehicles and drive our like students who come to our program. And I
would be
swear
so
they should have
stressed.
failed me the first time. Oh gosh, like the whole time I'm telling myself to, and it's driving on the left side of the road, that's fine, but it's like when you make a left-hand turn and you gotta
Turning in the
stay.
left.
Yeah.
Oh, my
No.
goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
That would
It's-
mess with my brain. Like, a
Uh-huh.
It
lot.
would. Well, just the wheel on the other side.
Yeah, because
I
you're
feel
sitting on
like
the other
it's
side of the car
strange.
too.
But maybe it helps. The wheel is on the other side and you're driving on the other side, so it kind of helps her brain flip. Is that true?
Kind of. I think it's all just jumbled in my mind.
Is it weird when you come back here then? Or does it just feel normal again?
Yeah, it feels quite normal. Like,
Okay. So it
it's-
never really goes away.
no, and I think it will every single time I go back to driving on the other side of the
You'll
road,
be like, "Whoa,
I have
what's
to like
this?"
relearn it for at least the first few minutes or the first few days. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's some cultural differences, like driving on the left side of the road.
Yeah.
What are some spiritual differences, if you've noticed any?
Well, I think that New Zealand as a whole, I would say, is actually quite similar to
Okay.
like a very Western lifestyle. They're colonized by the English, and so they speak English. Some of them have like the Kiwi accent is kind of like morphed from an English accent, which is really funny.
Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
And so,
It's the best.
yeah, it's the best.
The best.
Is it?
Oh, for sure. All of my Australian friends say my name with an R at the end. And I keep telling them, they call me Alaina.
Alaina.
And I'm like, that is not my name. And they're like, I'm like,
I bet
there's
they
no
can't
R.
not do it though.
No, they can't. And they don't even realize they're doing it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's so
love
good. But yeah, as a whole, I mean, there's a lot of churches around the nation. Um, yeah, there's like different like politics and things like that, but just like an everyday lifestyle, it's not like super different. There is really rich culture in their indigenous communities.
Okay,
And
cool.
I've actually learned really cool like worship songs, and I've had a lot of
Wow.
like missions training in yeah, with their like indigenous communities and things like that. So that's super cool.
That's
Do
amazing.
Yeah.
you, do you speak in, was it Maori?
It's Maori, yeah.
Maori. So, yeah.
It's a really, I don't even know if I'm currently saying it right. I feel like I've tried to study how to say it so many times, and it's like,
Well, it sounds better than the way we just said
yeah,
it. so-
I don't even know.
Sounds more
Um,
accurate.
The language is called Terero Maori.
Oh.
For everyone who I probably said that wrong, I apologize. I'm still learning. I have some. They do a lot of like proverbs, which is really cool. So they have one that I really love, and I wish I knew the whole thing, in their language, but it's like, what is the most important thing in the world? And it's he tongatai, he tongatai, he tongatai, which says it is people, it is people, it is people.
Oh, wow.
Um,
That's really cool.
Yeah, so there's like a bunch of those that I have learned. We have like a bass song, which is really beautiful, or like our charitable trust in New Zealand is called Te Huna Ki Te Ao, which says Queenstown to the nations.
Oh, cool.
And we have someone who wrote us a song about how there's really beautiful mountains where I live, and they're called the Remarkables. And the song talks about how the snow melts from the top of the mountains, which is right next to our base, and flows down the mountains into the lakes, into the rivers, out to the ocean, into the rest of the world. So it's like a picture of like the Holy Spirit and like the culmination of what we're cultivating, like melting out and then going out to the nations. And so, yeah, they have, it's a very like
Amazing.
poetic and like rich and deep culture, similar to lots of like Pacific islands and
Yeah.
Awesome.
things
I
like
love that analogy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask you two questions in one. You can combine them.
Yeah, go for it.
What is the hardest thing about your work? And then what's your favorite thing?
Hardest and favorite. Okay, hardest first. I think it's really just the distance from family.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I've like cried so many times.
It's like
this
the
past
total
week.
opposite side of
It's
the
the
world.
opposite side of the
Like,
world.
Yeah,
The
oh,
time
yeah.
difference is hard. Like, as thankful I am to,
how much is it?
oh gosh, it's like 17 hours forward. So right now, I'm even doing like a little bit of working while I'm home and scheduling a time when I'm awake and able to work, and my friends in New
Wow.
Zealand are able to. It's like you have like a very short window. And so,
It's like time travel.
Yeah,
oh, it
I like
really
that's
is.
it's worse when it's more than 12 hours
Yes.
because
Yeah.
then it's like it's another day and then some.
Yes,
Yeah. Wow, that's
exactly.
crazy.
So that's quite difficult. I am really close with my family and
Mhm.
always have been. And I have one brother, or one sibling total, and he is married, and they've just had a baby over this last
Aw.
year. And being an auntie is like my favorite thing in the world. It's like my entire world right now. Like, I'm on like auntie TikTok and Instagram.
it.
Like it's like infiltrated
that's
every part of
me.
it. Yeah.
Aw.
And so, yeah, being away from home, especially as a baby and a kid grows, it's like they change so much. And
Yeah.
as I come home once a year, or sometimes twice a year, if I'm able, it's like he's a totally different kid every time I see him. And so I think that's the hardest part. As well, I think more of like my everyday life. I think the two reasons people, leave the mission field, I can't remember which one's the top, but the two reasons why people leave the mission field before they feel like they were called to, or before they initially committed to, is like a lack of finances and broken relationships. And I feel like, staying, keeping your heart tender and pure as you're working in ministry in general, whether you're in the States at churches or in different areas of the world, is just hard. And so I
Yeah.
think, that's something that's a good thing, but allowing like any disappointments or things like that to not, take away from what the Lord has called you to do. So,
Yeah. Totally.
yeah,
I
think
get
that's
that.
So I don't want to delve
hardest.
too deeply in anything that's like really hard to talk about, but you have had some really deep challenges and disappointments. That's a huge understatement. Grief, and huge hiccups like getting stuck in Australia. You don't have to tell those whole stories, but suffice it to say, Elena's had a lot of real challenges and things you don't even think about that happen on the mission field. And how have you seen the Lord work through
Mhm.
that? What has He taught you through the?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably not what I expected to be learning about over this last year of my life is just how do you hold the truth about who God is and the truth of who you know him to be when your circumstances are telling you the opposite. And so, yeah, I've had like incredible miracles that I've seen on the mission field and the way he's come through for me financially and visas last minute when I thought I was going to get stuck in countries and things like that. I really like you have to hold fast to those sorts of things when things are going hard. I think of like the Israelites a lot and their forgetfulness. I feel like we talk about that so often.
It's true though.
Oh, but it's like we need it obviously because we are forgetful.
Yep.
And we're very quick to like blame the Lord or assume the worst in him when trials come. And I think just like the silly Israelites, I have challenged myself and the Lord has really taught me to remember him and who he is and what he's done and like hold fast to that in everything, which is not easy, but I think our faith really doesn't mean too much if we only follow Jesus and love him when our life is easy. And we all know that, but then the second trials or hardships come, we realize how easily swayed we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's
That's
not a
true.
real convenient truth, but it's a truth that our faith isn't really faith unless it's testing,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
right? And when our obedience stems from faith and our trust in God that, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm going to continue, even though it's hard, even though it's way harder than I ever thought it would be, even though I'm facing challenges I never knew or never would wish on anyone else. I've seen you prove your goodness,
Yeah.
and I'm going to trust you and keep
Yeah.
going. That's real faith, and that's when you see mountains moved, right? That's when you really see.
Yeah. I had someone
Special
actually in
one.
church on Sunday say, they're like, I had to change my mindset from it's not what's happening to me, but what God's doing for me. Because they were like, I just always viewed it as, why is this happening to me? Why is this always happening? And they're like, why do I not just flip my brain and go, what is God doing for me in this and through this? And I'm like, that is such an easy thing to say and a much harder thing to do because we are self-centered as humans. And it's so easy to go, God, why are you doing this to me? Why am I having to go through this? Like, why me? And we always are like, we won't be the ones to say that. But then stuff happens. And it's not easy to choose that mindset of like, I'm going to worship you even in the hardest
Yeah.
of seasons. But yeah, he shows his goodness even in the valleys. So
Ooh, Alaina, talk about that
good.
worship, the power of worship.
yeah.
Oh, worship. Oh, that's something I really love about Youth of the Mission. We are like decentralized and an international and interdenominational organization, which is just a fancy way of saying we don't have any like hub all over the world. We have like thousands of YWAM bases and are in a bunch of different countries, which is so cool.
That is.
But we have like a bunch of values that help us stay true to who we are because we need that.
Yeah.
And one of our primary values is to practice worship and intercessory prayer. And so even as a community, whether you're a part of our ongoing like programs that we do or you're a part of like the operations side of running our location, we all meet like several times throughout the week to worship and pray together, which is really wonderful. I think in my first program in YWAM, something that really changed my life where I'm like, I don't know if I would be who I am today if we didn't value like worshiping and seeking the presence of God before everything else. I know for myself, I'm reading a book right now that's about Mary and Martha and having like a Mary heart in a world of Marthas. And I am so easily like, we have so much work to do. There's people coming. We need to give them the best programs we can provide and I like, that's just how I naturally function. And so being with an organization that values seeking the Lord first and knowing him personally above what we can do for him or what he's doing all over the world, and how do we strategize and how do we get into it, is really, really helpful for me. So worship is like everything. I mean, missions exists because worship doesn't all over the world. And so worship has to be the foundation of like literally everything we do, especially when we're living a life in occupational ministry. So
I agree. I love that. I think I found myself, especially in like a season of life now, and Bucky knows, like we've talked about all life things, but it's like I've had to really challenge myself on worshiping no matter what. And it's like worshiping doesn't have to look just like singing a song or praise. Like worshiping can be like fully surrendering to the Lord and saying, I trust you. Like I worship you. You are good, Father, like through the hardest of things. But I love that. Like it really is the root, and people need to realize that worship comes in many different forms, but it comes from the heart, and the Father deserves that. Like he's our creator, and he deserves all of our praise all the time, whether we feel it or we don't. He is our creator, and we owe him that because he's good always.
yeah, so good.
Yeah, he deserves the glory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
honor.
one of the reasons that we do what we do on the media side of our ministry,
Yeah.
is to give him that glory, to share the stories of how he's working around the world, because he is
Yeah.
always. And we just want to invite people to be part of it.
Yeah.
And that just takes saying yes. So that's something that I've learned. It takes me a while to learn things like that sometimes, but that obedience to the Lord and true worship, like heart of worship, is saying, yes, Lord, to who you are and whatever you want to do. I'm here for it, for your name, for your glory, and what you're going to do in my life, but more so, in the world, to make your name great through me. And you don't have to figure that out. You don't have to figure out every step of that, what that plan is. God told Abraham, go. That was pretty much it. I mean, he did give him the vision, but where to go exactly, a place I will show you. That's not very clear step-by-step instructions.
No.
But he did it, and he was commended for his faith. It was counted as righteousness. And so that kind of faith, that marks a life of worship and obedience. And so to me, really, that's what mission success is just simple but radical obedience, saying yes every step. And so I know you didn't have every step planned out in your missions journey, but you said yes to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And now here you are in a leadership position, and having opportunities to go and share the love of Christ with people, like throughout the Pacific, and really cool places like PNG. So do you have some stories from PNG, or we don't have enough time for this, but can you paint with a broad enough brush to kind of give us a picture of what the task is like there?
Yeah, well, I love Papua New Guinea. It's our like focus nation as a base. We want to prioritize the Pacific, as we are an island in the Pacific, and then Asia and the rest of the world. And so Papua New Guinea is a really, really beautiful place. It probably has the most culture and like vibrancy of any place I've ever been in my whole life.
So cool.
Wow.
It's incredible. Yeah, I remember it is the land of the unexpected, which they tell you even before you come, and you think you believe them, and then you start to arrive, and it's like, oh, this is so much more the land of the unexpected.
Like you really meant that.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, you tried to tell me, I just didn't even know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we tried to fly into Papua New Guinea the first time with the first outreach team, or not the first time, but the first time I went with an outreach team. And our like flights were crazy. It took us so long to get there. Like I'm very I like to be very prepared.
Me too.
In ministry and in missions in general. That's just like, you can do your best, and we should be doing our
Yes.
best. We should be doing
That
our
doesn't
due
always mean
diligence.
it's gonna do it.
But we have to be flexible when things change, and that's like the hardest thing for me is I've learned to be
Me
flexible.
too.
And so it took us a lot longer to arrive than we thought, but we stepped off the plane and we had our contacts come pick us up. They're a local church where we landed, and they like pull up with this huge big truck it's like a massive truck bed, and we all just pile in.
All right.
And the first thing someone said to us is like, he was like our outreach dad, and he hopped off the truck and he's like, "Welcome home, everyone." And I was like, immediately all my anxiety and all of my like, is my team okay? Like, do we have everything planned? We need food, and like, what's our accommodation gonna be like? And
Yeah.
all of that immediately settled, and he was like, "Welcome home," and then just gave us big hugs, and was
Oh,
like,
that's sweet.
yeah. So it's a nation that loves people coming to visit them. They love showing off their nation and their culture. And so have never felt like I've been uninvited or like I'm on someone else's territory. Like, they welcome you with open arms and are
I love
very
it.
hospitable. Yeah.
That.
A lot of the ministry we do, Papua New Guinea is a very diverse place. There's so many islands, and there's just, you can go to so many different places in Papua New Guinea where it feels the same, but also all of their lifestyles and their cultures and religions are slightly different. And so Papua New Guinea as a whole is a Christian nation, but they're also the nation that has the most Bible-less languages in the whole world. And they're a Christian nation, but they just need discipleship and transformation as all nations do. And so we work with a lot of churches. We do a lot of like open air and evangelism rallies, and you really never know what's coming as much as you prepare, and it's like the best thing ever. Because I've learned whenever I'm the most uncomfortable and like out of my comfort zone is how like it gives the Lord the most space to actually use me. And so yeah, and actually like if I have a friend that says if you give God like 10% of your life, he will use all 10%. If you give him 20, 30, 40%, but if you give him 100% of yourself, he will use 100% of you. Like, he's never going to force anything upon you.
That's true.
And so when you're kind of like, I'm out here in the middle of the ocean and I'm here to do outreach, and like I may as well just like give it my all.
Yeah,
And when
I'm already here.
I'm already here. When you do that, it's like, oh wow, I see how much the Lord can do when I give him 100%. So
That's
It's
amazing.
almost like if you present yourself as a living sacrifice or something.
That the Lord will use you.
I've heard that
Sounds
somewhere.
right.
I know, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, for people who are listening and just getting to know little tidbits about your life, what would you request that people pray about for you, for YWAM? Like, what are some prayer requests that people can be thinking of and praying over you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I was able to share this at a share night that I had a couple weeks ago at my home church, and something I was talking about is our generation is like so passionate and zealous and like so ready to say yes to whatever they think is worthy of their lives, which is really beautiful. Studies have shown we're like the most evangelistic generation that's come. We are the most willing to treat missions as a life and as an occupation. But we're also one of the most like Bible illiterate generations. And so we have a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, a lot of like go-getter mentality, which that is beautiful and I don't think should be like tamed or put down. But we need training. We need like spiritual mothers and fathers. We need committed, healthy Christians that want to walk alongside our generation. We need like emotional and like character training, as well as like the spiritual and the biblical. Well, biblical is all of that, you know. I read a book one time that said, well, the whole premise of the book is that you cannot be spiritually healthy if you're not emotionally healthy. Like, there is no separation of who you are as a person. And so I think we just need people to like do life with us and really pray for this next generation, because I mean, like, we could fulfill the Great Commission in our lifetime and in our generation if we have like sustainable and substantial missionaries. And so with that, we need just training and people that cover us and relationally are there for us, as well as help our training.
Yeah. For sure. Well, we will be
Love
praying,
that.
and I know
Yeah.
people listening will too. So you've provided a lot of insight. I didn't know really anything. Bucky was like, "We're having Alaina come in. She's gonna tell us." I'm like, "I'm so excited." So I know other people will be excited to hear too. So we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, of
I don't think many people here in the US think much about Oceania. I don't think they think about
Mm.
beyond what they see in movies and stuff like big blockbuster
Australia is kind of the
movies.
big.
Yeah,
Everybody kind of knows that, but like
yeah.
beyond that, people just don't really think.
But the needs there, the spiritual needs there, and then especially in, I mean, I'm thinking just lots of places. That guy on our staff works in Bari, Indonesia, and Solomon Islands. It's just a unique part of the world because it's so culturally different. The way that you need to engage a culture is different and communicate with them, communicate the gospel in different ways. But like that's where there's so much work to do, but we're also so close. Just like you said, like in PNG, there's all these languages, but there's a lot of work going on. There's a lot of translation going on. Even though there's great diversity between one people group to the next that are maybe a couple miles apart as the crow flies in the jungle, they may have similarities in language that can translate, or in their stories and their traditions and things like that. So there's such great potential there, a small place, but it's just so different. And a lot of people focus on the 1040 window as like like this is the last part of the task. This is the last leg, and that's so true. But it's so unique there in the Pacific. And I think it's so fascinating that the doors seem wide open
Yeah.
because they're welcoming, and I just think that's so exciting.
It is, and it's encouraging because a lot of the world you hear is so closed off nowadays, and it can be very discouraging to be, like, trekking and always looking and being told no, but it's like, there are people who are willing to hear. There are doors that's gonna be open, but you need people who are willing and able to do that mentally, physically, spiritually, like, you need that, and so it's always encouraging to hear someone who's doing that and living that, and so we really, really appreciate you coming and sharing with us.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
thank you.
thanks, Elena. So, is there anything on your heart that you just really want the world to know about missions, about you and your work and your org, or just about the place that God has put you right now, the field that you're working right now?
That's a great question. I think what's just been on my heart lately is kind of circling back to what you were talking about with obedience and just, yeah, being a like living sacrifice for the Lord. I used to be really scared of what the Lord would ask of me if I'd give him my yes. And there have been some hard times and some challenging times and moments where I'm way out of my comfort zone for sure. But the Lord is good and kind, and like he trusts, or we can trust his character for us. And so, yeah, I think my urge is that you would just have a yes written on your heart to the Lord, like before you even know what he's going to ask of you, because he's good and kind, and he has your best interests at heart. And so, yeah, I am like, everyone talks about, or people can ask me, like, oh, wow, Elena, it's so cool that you do what you do. Like, I don't know if I could ever do that. And I'm like, I feel like I've gotten lucky. Like, I'm the one who gets to do the dream job, and I get to, like, yeah, I live on full-time support, which is hard sometimes. But I've seen the Lord's faithfulness, like, provide for me in a way that I wouldn't be able to if I didn't live on support, or I wouldn't have seen the Lord move in the way he has if I wasn't in the challenges that I was in, or traveling to different nations I'd never been to before. And so, yeah, my urge is like, he's great and wonderful, and whatever his ask would be for you, know that it would also be for his glory and for your good as well. And so, yeah, I think that's my little urge.
Amazing.
All
That's so
right,
good.
couldn't say it better than that.
Nope.
Yeah, missions is a privilege. It's
It
not
is.
just a task, an assignment, a calling. It really is a privilege because, one, we get to experience great adventures whether that's in your own backyard here in DFW, building cross-cultural relationships, or it's traveling, you know, clear, clearly around the world. Sometimes we do both, which is awesome. But
Yep.
he's calling us. He's calling us to a life of adventure. Read the book of Acts. You know, when you have that, when you have that question, man, what would it have been like to live then? Guess what? It's all still happening, and you can go be part of it. Just step out
Yep.
and say yes. So, Alaina, if people want to follow along with your ministry, learn more about it, and support it, or maybe be a part of it, how can they get in touch?
Well, I think the best place to go is just YWAM.org. It has all of our locations all over the world, who we are as an organization. It's just a great source. We also have a bunch of social media platforms, whether you're looking at going to be trained at a specific location or just YWAM in general. And so I think media is the best place. Hopping on people's newsletters is also great. But yeah, YWAM.org is probably the best place for you to go to get more info.
Awesome.
Amazing.
All right.